You're watching WITI Milwaukee. When it matters to you, it matters to us. Fox 6 News, because you matter. Fox 6 News at 9 starts right now.
We begin tonight at 9 with breaking news. 5 people are hurt in a crash on Highway 4145 near Mequon Road. 3 of those hurt were children under the age of 4. We are told the kids were not properly buckled in. Deputies say a car lost control before hitting a semi and then 2 median walls. No word on whether any charges will be filed.
And now to tonight's big story, a troubling attack.
A 17-year-old girl sexually assaulted on the city's south side. Fox 6's Jenna Sachs is live tonight at District 2 Police Station with the latest information. Jenna.
Yes, as police continue to investigate this attack, we spoke with neighbors who wish they could have done something to stop it.
She was upset. She was crying.
If the footprints in the snow near 14th and Rogers could tell their story, it would be a disturbing one.
Yeah, I'm frustrated that I didn't hear it.
Milwaukee police say a 17-year-old girl was sexually assaulted here by a man armed with a utility knife.
She said that, and the police said that this happened right here on the front lawn here.
Police say the suspect hit the girl several times before a witness heard her calls for help and scared the man away.
She was kind of shooken up because she was shaking a little bit.
I came down off my porch after I heard about it from the police, and I came down and gave her a hug and stuff. I didn't know what else to do.
No, and that something like that happens right next door. It's kind of shocking.
Neighbors who asked we not show their faces say the victim doesn't live on this street and was just passing through.
I asked her, well, was it somebody you knew? And she said, no, it was just some random guy walking down the street.
The attack happened in the front yard of an empty house that's under construction. Neighbors say they usually try to look out for each other, but lately that's been difficult.
It's been cold outside, so no one's really out here, and that's probably why he got away with it.
And the suspect is described as a black man about 6 feet tall, weighing 160 pounds. He has short, puffy hair and was wearing a black vest, gray sweater, and black jeans. Anyone with information is asked to call Milwaukee police. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Jenna Sachs, Fox 6 News.
All right, Jenna, thank you. Milwaukee police also searching for a man who tried to talk a 13-year-old boy into a sex act. They say the suspect walked up to that boy near 53rd and Burleigh Friday night. The boy said the man propositioned him, then tried to grab him by the arm. The boy managed to run away. Now, police don't think this is the same guy as they're looking for in the Southside rape case that Jenna was just telling you about. The suspect is described as black, in his late teens or early 20s, with a slim build. A bond set at $20,000 for a former Kenosha High School girls basketball coach.
Jeff Spencer allegedly sexted 2 members of his team. Our Justin Williams with more now from Kenosha.
25-year-old Jeffrey Spencer is in a Kenosha County courtroom Monday.
This is state of Wisconsin versus Jeffrey Spencer.
For a bond hearing.
We believe high cash bond is appropriate in this case. The state intends to charge, we do not have a criminal complaint done today, but we intend to charge 8 counts of child enticement.
Spencer is a former Indian Trail High School math teacher and girls basketball coach who is accused of sending inappropriate texts to 2 members of his former team and having an inappropriate relationship with one of them.
We are not charging any actual sexual assaults, no.
What is being charged allegedly began in the past 2 months with text messages and discussions with a 15-year-old girl.
These incidents began in January of 2015 until the first week of February 2015 and resulted in this defendant kissing this girl on 2 separate occasions. That actually was physical contact that happened between the 2 of them at, we believe, Indian Trails.
At the beginning of February, Spencer is accused of sending late-night texts to another girl, this one 16 years old.
This defendant indicated to this girl that he really liked her and wanted to kiss her, and that he wanted her to come over and wanted to cuddle and kiss her.
Spencer reportedly told the school principal that he had feelings for one of the girls and admitted that he knew it was wrong to have engaged with a student in this manner.
Your Honor, I would note that this came to light based on this girl telling friends who told their parents, who then reported it to Indian Trails Academy.
The judge sent a temporary bond amount of $20,000, explaining that that can be argued again on Thursday during a criminal complaint filing. Meanwhile, I got a chance to speak with Spencer's father off camera following today's hearing. He says he'd like to apologize to the entire Indian Trail community. It is the latest here in Kenosha. I'm Justin Williams, Fox 6 News.
A Milwaukee man is arrested for driving south in the northbound lanes of I-43 over the weekend. Deputies responded to calls of a wrong-way driver at 3:15 Saturday morning right near Good Hope Road. A deputy stopped the vehicle just north of Capitol Drive. He made it decently far. 23-year-old Eric Webb was taken into custody for second-degree recklessly endangering safety and OWI. Deputies found an open bottle of Jack Daniel's whiskey under the seat of his car and say Webb's blood alcohol level was 0.16. That's 2 times the legal limit.
So southbound on the northbound side?
Yes.
What kind of vehicle?
It's a car. I couldn't tell you. Dark color. Went by me so fast I didn't even think about getting a plate or anything.
The felony recklessly endangering safety charge carries a penalty of up to 10 years in prison.
A dramatic testimony as the Slender Man case gets underway. 2 girls who were 12 years old at the time are accused of trying to stab their friend to death, all to please this fictional character called Slender Man. Fox 6 and Myra Sanchek with more from the Waukesha County Courthouse.
Shackled and in plaid flannel, Morgan Geyser came to adult court on this very serious crime. Her lawyer wants the case moved into juvenile court because of Geyser's deep belief in the evil, fictional character Slender Man. And that to gain his favor, she and her friend Anissa Wire would kill their friend.
She made the deal, like I had said previously, with Slender Man, that if they didn't follow through, that their families would be in danger.
These are drawings from the notebook police found in Morgan Geyser's locker after police say Geyser and Wire lured their young friend into the woods.
And whispered in her ear, "I'm so sorry," and then started stabbing her.
With 19 stab wounds, the victim managed to crawl to a path where a passerby discovered her. She survived. While Geyser doodled in court Monday, these previous notes include a supply list for the killing, sketches of Slender Man, and sayings such as, "Help never comes." In a video interview, the other suspect, Anissa Wire, told a detective that she did it because she wanted to prove Slender Man was real, and she was afraid of him.
Well, yeah, because he could be anywhere from 6 feet to 14 feet tall. He's, like I said, a tall guy who constantly wears a suit with a red tie. He doesn't have a face. His skin is white. And at his own will, he can exploit these tendrils from his back.
Testimony continues in this case on Tuesday, after which the judge will determine if this case continues as a first-degree intentional charge and stays in adult court, or if it is a second-degree charge and can be waived back to juvenile court. Reporting in Waukesha County, Myra Sanchek, Fox 6 News.
We have been tracking this bizarre case against these 2 young girls for months. You can go to fox6now.com or check out the Fox 6 News app. There you can read why doctors believe each is competent to stand trial, plus separating fantasy from reality, the challenges facing parents and their kids these days.
One of the 2 tests for suspected measles cases in Portage County has come back negative. We're told that patient is no longer in isolation. Health officials are still awaiting test results on the second person. If confirmed, it will be the first case of measles reported in Wisconsin this year.
And weather conditions out here on the deck, not too bad, fairly comfortable, lots of clouds around. Could see a couple of flurries overnight, but at least the winds are on the light side. Let's check in with temperatures from our Smart WeatherNet system. Mid-teens pretty common across the area. 15 in Kenosha, Racine, as well as Muskego. Cedarburg, you're still at 16 degrees and 14 in Whitefish Bay. The wind chills at times are single digits, other times in the teens. The winds not too bad just yet. They're mainly out of the west and southwest, under 10 miles per hour. But that'll definitely change, especially beginning by tomorrow. Here's the way our temperature and wind chill trend shapes up, beginning at noon tomorrow and running right through Wednesday morning. You can see by noon, 14 for a temp tomorrow, wind chill already below 0. And by 6 o'clock on Wednesday morning, a temperature of around 0 and wind chills of about -17. It doesn't get much better during the day on Wednesday, and it gets even colder on Thursday. We'll talk more about your 6-day forecast coming up.
I will see you in a bit, Vince. Questioning the process. Did investigators of Dontre Hamilton's death follow the law?
A Milwaukee alderman joins the brother of Hamilton. How big of a role did Milwaukee police have in their own case?
Plus, members of the Menominee tribe walking to Madison to rally for that casino in Kenosha. But is it a road to nowhere? Tonight, a new letter from Governor Walker.
And protest in Wauwatosa. Dozens gathering outside the governor's home. Their message, and was he listening? All those stories in the next 9 minutes.
Check 1 2, mic check, mic check. Act 348 mandates.
Yeah, the protesters say they're upset by the governor's.
You're watching Fox 6 News, recognized by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association with the television station and News Operation of the Year awards. It's an honor that inspires us to work even harder for you. Fox 6 News, because you matter.
The co-sponsor of Wisconsin's police oversight law is questioning whether authorities followed that law when they're investigating the shooting death of Dontre Hamilton.
Those questions revolve around the role Milwaukee police played in the aftermath of that shooting. Our AJ Biapur is live downtown tonight with the details. AJ.
Stephanie, Brad, good evening. Act 348 mandates when there's a police-involved death, an outside agency must come in and lead the investigation. A Milwaukee alderman joined Dontre Hamilton's brother today. They say Milwaukee police had too big of a role in the investigation into the Red Arrow Park shooting. One of the co-sponsors of the police oversight bill agrees.
Laws are there to be followed, not to be tested.
Alderman Joe Davis Sr. joins Nate Hamilton Monday at City Hall to once again question the independence of the Dontre Hamilton shooting investigation. Officer Christopher Manny shot and killed Hamilton last April. The shooting happened just 1 week after Governor Scott Walker signed Act 348 into law. The co-sponsor of that legislation also questions whether state investigators actually led the way.
The DCI investigators assigned to it looked like they were in a role of just review and didn't really see an active role of direction and evaluation.
Milwaukee police referred questions about the Hamilton case to the Wisconsin Department of Justice, which MPD brought in to handle the investigation. A review of the final report shows the DOJ assigned 2 special agents in charge and another 7 special agents to the case. Attorney General Brad Schimmel said in a statement Monday, quote, "I'm proud of the work done by the supervisors and investigative staff at the Division of Criminal Investigation. I know they can be relied upon to conduct these officer-involved incident investigations objectively, efficiently, and in a way that leaves the public confident in that investigation." The report also shows a number of interviews on scene were conducted by the Milwaukee police, including the initial interview with Manny himself. Nate Hamilton wants federal investigators involved in critical incidents from the very beginning.
I think you would have to call the U.S. Attorney's Office and say, hey, we don't have enough people. We need you to send your investigators out.
And Hamilton and Bies also say that the ultimate decision on whether an officer should be charged should be made by the district attorney from an outside county. Right now, the law says that that decision is to be made by the district attorney of the county in which the incident occurred. Of course, it was Milwaukee County DA John Chisholm who ultimately cleared Christopher Manny. We're live tonight outside of Red Arrow Park.
AJ Byattport, Fox 6 News.
All right, AJ, thanks.
On the march to Madison, Menominee Nation tribal members walking to the state capitol. They want to meet with Governor Walker. But this last-ditch effort may be a wasted effort. The governor has written a new letter to the tribal chairman. I'm Mike Lowe with all the developments in the political lowdown.
The Menominee Nation on the march, a 155-mile journey to the state capitol to meet with Governor Scott Walker. Through the ups and downs.
It's tough.
In the bitter cold.
We have a lot of support, a lot of support from back home.
This trek is a living, breathing
my name is Basil Richmond.
metaphor for the long, winding road that has taken the Menominee Nation to the brink of despair.
They're setting a blueprint on how to keep people down.
The tribe had viewed the casino project as its best chance to get out of poverty. It would have brought an $800 million Hard Rock hotel and casino and 10,000 jobs to the state.
I have informed the federal government.
But the governor denied the project.
I am not approving the application for a casino.
Last week, the Menominee tribe and its casino partner Hard Rock International sought to change the debate.
What we say is Menominee bucks for Milwaukee bucks.
Offering to pay the taxpayer's share of a new Bucks arena, $220 million, if the governor reversed his decision. But in his first response to that idea, Governor Scott Walker sent a letter to the tribe Monday night saying in nearly a year and a half of negotiations, the tribe never seriously discussed providing funding for a Bucks arena. The Menominee also raised concerns that the governor didn't acknowledge the offer of a $275 million bond that would cover any state of Wisconsin losses.
And I had asked the secretary, well, what about the bond? The bond is real. Our partners are ready to fly up here to show that bond is real. And the response was the decision's been made. It's a no.
In Monday's letter, the governor responded to the bond idea for the first time, saying it would still not fully cover the potential economic liability to the state, and indicated he would not change his mind because approving the casino could cause long-term damage to the state budget. Still, the Menominee are marching on. More than 50 people are retracing the steps of the tribe's 1971 march from the reservation in Kashina to the Capitol in Madison.
He may meet with us, he may not, but at least we tried.
The long journey will end one way or another on Thursday. The Federal Bureau of Indian Affairs has set February 19th as the date for the governor to finalize his decision. In Marquette County, Mike Lowe, Fox 6 News.
The marchers expect to arrive at Madison 11 Wednesday morning. Meanwhile, the governor has announced several changes to his staff today. Department of Administration Secretary Mike Hipsch is now going to be the commissioner of the Public Service Commission, and Scott Neitzel has been named Secretary of Administration. Neitzel was most recently a senior vice president for Madison Gas and Electric. Well, a different kind of march in Wauwatosa tonight, right to the governor's front door.
Yeah, more than 100 people got together and gathered because they're upset over proposed budget cuts to education. Our Brett Lemoyne joining us now from the newsroom with the latest.
Well, the protesters say they're upset by the governor's recent proposed budget. They say the two-year budget will cut $300 million from the UW system and $127 million from public schools. Side by side with teachers and students, Ingrid Walker Henry is hoping for a victory in public education for her niece, Amira.
$127 million for K through 12. I believe it's $12 million alone for Milwaukee Public Schools, and we're talking about a district that we already know is impoverished, and you're going to take more.
Cries from this 11-year-old.
What he's doing is not okay.
And MPS students of all ages.
If the community is not educated, the community will suffer.
Echo from Juneau Playfield in Milwaukee. Here, more than 100 are gathered to send a clear message.
Mr. Walker needs to just really, come to the table, reason with us, man. I mean, this is our future here.
Andrew Martin is an MPS teacher armed with what's quickly become the symbol of this movement.
Put a green light bulb in your front light to support public education.
The crowd picks up green glow sticks as they march 4 blocks to the governor's Wauwatosa home.
We have to be somewhere. We have to have a way to have our voice heard.
Concerns about a $300 million cut to the UW system, as well as funding to Badger Care and senior care programs, are also on their minds. In a statement, a representative from the governor's office tells us the budget protects the state's commitment to K-12 schools by increasing equalization aids and other categorical aid programs, while at the same time reducing property taxes for the typical homeowner. And our proposal gives the University of Wisconsin the tools to find savings through an authority while protecting Wisconsin's hardworking families and students by freezing tuition for another 2 years. With this demonstration winding down, it's clear the march will continue.
We're going to be doing this until he listens.
Now, it did not appear that Walker or anyone else was home during the protest, and along the way, Milwaukee Police, Tosa Police, and State Patrol were on hand during the demonstration. The march in front of Walker's home lasted only about 20 minutes. Live in the newsroom, Brett Lemoyne, Fox 6 News.
Okay, Brett, thanks.
Murdered in prison.
And compassion tonight from one of his victims. Why a woman who was shot 4 times by the convicted man says she feels for him, says he didn't deserve to die.
Parting ways with the Pack. The player who many say made the season-ending error for the Packers finds out his fate. The tweet that says it all.
A new chapter for a former Milwaukee library. Milwaukee entrepreneur Matt Bowman wants to buy the vacant Finney Library on Sherman and North. He wants to turn the building into an incubator for local artists. Bowman expects the restoration to cost more than $300,000. The anime convention in downtown Milwaukee this past weekend was good for business. The 3-day event celebrates Japanese pop culture and its generational impact on American entertainment. About 7,500 people visited the convention, which was held at the Wisconsin Center. The anime event brought more than $1 million to city vendors and establishments. For more stories in the Business Journal, we have a link to their site on ours. Visit fox6now.com.
Certainly comfortable outside here on the weather deck tonight. 24 hours from now, the chill will start to be on and the plunge will begin. Here are your weather headlines. And really the story this week is for a continuation of our cold temperatures, but the real cold and wind starts to kick in later on tomorrow night and will be the major weather story for Wednesday and Thursday. It's during that time period we'll be facing wind chills of -10 to -35 degrees. We'll start to feel them, especially tomorrow evening, and then Wednesday and Thursday, as I say, even during the day. Here's the situation, though, for the next 6 to 10 days. This is from the Climate Prediction Center, and it looks like more of the same. The upper air wind pattern that we're getting into now will continue right into next week. So below average for much of the lower 48. Above average, you got to go west, young man, all the way to the coast. So, Brad, I think we're stuck in this for a while.
Do they give us a way below average? Is that an option?
Yeah, we should have that as a new category.
A real deep dark purple. All right, thank you very much, Vince. Yep. Well, he's a well-known NASCAR driver, but now Kurt Busch is under a court order. Why, he says his ex-girlfriend is a paid assassin who could have killed him. And sailing in winter? You bet. We're heading out to Lake Winnebago. Stick around.
You're watching Fox 6 News at 9 with Brad Hicks, Stephanie Grady, Chief Meteorologist Vince Candela, and Tom Pippin Sports. Fox 6 News, because you matter.
He shot 4 people, including a pregnant woman, back in 2010. But while serving time for his crime, 40-year-old Jerome Scott was murdered in prison.
Fox 6's Derica Williams spoke with one of his victims and explains why she has some compassion for him.
That was a blessing that she made it through.
Alice Ewing calls her 4-year-old daughter Shania, who was born with a gunshot wound, a miracle baby.
So right here, the bullet went in her back, out her stomach, and in her leg.
Ewing was 35 weeks pregnant with Shania when both were shot by Jerome Scott.
I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
March 21st, 2010, Ewing was with a friend at a party near Teutonia and Congress when the friend allegedly stole money from Scott, who was intoxicated. When he realized the money was missing, he confronted the friend who was leaving.
He told the girl to come here. You know, she didn't want to talk to him. She got in the car with us. When she got in the car with us, That's when he just shot it up. Me and her both was climbing out the car, trying to climb out the car, but I realized I couldn't move because I was shot in my leg. So I just acted like I was dead.
The incident forced Ewing into premature labor. Not only was she hit 4 times, but her unborn daughter was shot as well.
That day was just the worst day of my life. I mean, it was horrible, horrifying.
Scott was sentenced to prison, but last week the Columbia County Sheriff's Office said Scott had been strangled, allegedly by his cellmate at the Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage. After hearing about his death, Ewing was somewhat sympathetic. During the trial, she learned Scott was partially deaf and had other items stolen that night at the party.
I felt that he just had reached his mark. You know, people probably been messing with him his whole life, probably been picking on him his whole life. You know what I'm saying? And what she did to him, that just broke him down. I'm not happy that this happened to him. I just feel sorry for him, his family, and what they got to go through. He deserved to be in jail, but he didn't deserve to die.
3 others were shot in that 2010 incident. Scott pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 36 years in prison. The suspect in Scott's death has not been named, other than he is from the Milwaukee area and was serving time for homicide-related charges. And as you just saw there, little Shania is doing much, much better. She's doing very well. In fact, the bullet was taken out of her when she turned 1. Reporting in the newsroom, Derica Williams, Fox 6 News.
Milwaukee County Executive Chris Abele issued a veto today, blocking a plan to continue pension payments for a group of retirees and employees. Abele claims it will save the county $10 million. It will affect about 200 people that were set to receive that money through pension payments. The county board will take that veto up tomorrow.
A judge has ordered NASCAR driver Kurt Busch to stay away from his ex-girlfriend. Busch has to stay 100 yards away from Patricia Driscoll's home and work and maintain a practicable distance from her at NASCAR events. Now, this all stems from an incident last September. Driscoll claims he grabbed her by the throat and smashed her head into a wall. Busch claims Driscoll, who is a government contractor, is really a paid assassin who killed drug lords and could have overpowered him. A gut-wrenching moment in Sunday's Austin Marathon. Watch this, a Kenyan runner crawling across the finish line. She got 3rd place in the women's division. She led for much of the race, but her body just gave out there at the end. She was forced to crawl across. She did not accept the wheelchair, though. She struggled to make it on her own power. And less than a month after the most difficult afternoon of his playing career, Packers tight end Brandon Bostic has been released. Bostic botched, of course, that onside kick against the Seahawks, the play that eventually allowed Seattle to take the lead and eventually win the NFC Championship game there. Bostic tweeted that he is, quote, thankful to spend the first 3 years of my career in GB. Unfortunately, my time there has ended.
It was a unique love that brought athletes from all around the world to Fond du Lac over Valentine's weekend. Instead of flowers and chocolates, though, it was the win that was the gift of choice. Tonight, Brandon Cruz goes beyond the game.
We all love strong wins.
It's mid-February and the wind is howling across Lake Winnebago in Fond du Lac.
Most people hate winds.
While many may want to stay away from the blast of frigid air, Jenny Back is cherishing the Chinook and hoping for more. She's here all the way from Sweden, along with athletes from 11 different countries.
We're participating in the World Ice and Snow Sailing Championship.
Because Lake Winnebago has a geological formation called the Niagara Escarpment that creates a nearly constant flow of wind, it was chosen to host the World Ice and Snow Sailing Championship, or WISA for short.
There's 3 different categories of sails. It's the wing sails and the sled sails and the kites. I compete in the kite wing. A kite wing is like a wing that you hold on to, and it's handheld, so it's not stuck to a board or something. And you wear either skis or skates on your feet, depending on the surface.
In this case, Back wears skates. But not all skates are the same among competitors.
Some people have just regular hockey skates. Some people have the more, some funky looking ones. And someone has the long distance skating.
Some of them are really elaborate. You look at them and you're like, holy smokes, they're this high off the deck and they're, pretty impressive to look at.
But there's a reason her skates stand a bit taller than most.
You get a little bit higher up because it's easier to carry the handheld sail up higher, because the wind is always better higher up.
In the distance, kites fill the sky as the other events of WISA are taking place.
The kiting venue, which is raced on a longer course, out in the lake.
Athletes use skis to glide across the ice as the wind-filled kites power them along.
The last event is more like a windsurfing type sail. It is a windsurfing sail.
It's a lot like windsurfing.
And it's run on a board that has 4 blade runners, and it actually steers like a skateboard.
A regular visitor to Fond du Lac is iceboarder and windsurfer Kelly Neitlinger from Juneau, Alaska. She's been competing for 2 years now, but WISA is bigger than just the events for her.
The community here is amazing. It's wonderful to see the younger crowd out here. There's also people in their 70s and some pushing 80 or maybe even in their 80s. Some people have competed longer than I've been alive.
That feeling is shared by locals as well, including the president of the Winnebago Association of Kiteboarders, Dan Doyster.
I think everybody's got just a love of being out here and whatever their wind apparatus happens to be, they're just happy to be out here, I believe.
And happy to have the winds filling their sails and whipping them across the lake. In Fond du Lac, Brandon Cruz, Fox 6 Sports.
Looks pretty fun. Well, for more information on kiteboarding here in Wisconsin, which is year-round, in fact, we have a link set up on our website. Just visit fox6now.com.
It lasts about 5 seconds before I did a face plant.
Yeah, either that or you freeze to death. I don't know. But regardless, I mean, pretty unique sports. I've never seen some of them.
Awesome. Well, intoxicated and armed.
Ozaukee County Sheriff's deputies called to a domestic violence situation. A man inside firing shots, a woman already hit. Tonight, how the officers are being honored for their quick thinking. Plus,
800 kids show up. They cause a ruckus, some with guns, some firing guns in the air, robbing people, stolen cars, drugs.
Yeah, mayhem at the mall. The Valentine's Day many will not soon forget.
A wavy pattern in the upper air winds means our temperature takes a plunge, especially 24 hours from now. My 6-day forecast is coming up.
All right, it's a tasty treat. People will be lining up for bright and early in the morning tomorrow morning, Fat Tuesday.
Oh yeah, behind the scenes and behind us right here, getting ready for Paczki Day started days ago. Paczki Day is busier than all other holidays combined for National Bakery. The bakers plan to make nearly 50,000 paczki between the 3 stores. They work 20 hours on Sunday. They were back at it today for just a few hours of rest.
They're going to work straight through tomorrow, another 20-hour shift until everything is done. Then they finally get to relax a little bit.
Well, Paczki Day is a Polish Catholic tradition on Fat Tuesday, in case you didn't know, which started as a way for people to get rid of all of their sugar, butter, and sweets before the first day of Lent.
And for more information on the National Bakery, we have a link on fox6now.com, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for Wake Up. Laura Langwell is going to be out there at National Bakery. All the Paczki Day festivities, people line up bright and early. She'll start at 5 o'clock. Hope she has some coffee with her.
Hopefully, and hopefully she brings some more back to the newsroom. Not that we didn't get our share
Boxes
today.
of Paczkis.
Our cheeks are going to be like this by the time the news comes on tomorrow.
That's how we like it. That's how we like it. Well, it is going to be chilly for the folks out there in the morning getting their Paczkis. That's for darn sure.
Very, very cold. Weather expert Vince Candela is coming up with a look at that frigid forecast. Also ahead, Ready, Set, Go. A pack of sea lions making a run for the ocean. Their long journey back to the wild.
And mob at the movie theater. What sparks hundreds of kids to go crazy at a mall?
Wake up with us tomorrow. News, weather, and traffic before you head out the door.
And then at 5, celebrate Fat Tuesday Paczki style. Laura is live as people line up for the delicious Polish pastry.
Plus, a Milwaukee teen taking her talent to Carnegie Hall. How she did it, she plays for us in studio.
And details on a Midwinter Brew Fest tomorrow on Wake Up.
Coming up new tonight at 10, devastated parents.
What could I have done differently? What did I miss?
After their son died, they started asking questions about what he was doing online and what he was allowed to buy there. The packages coming through the mail that should have every parent taking note. Tonight on Fox 6 News at 10.
Around the world, Egypt now calling for international intervention after 21 of its Christians were executed by the terror group ISIS. Italy says it's ready to lead that action.
ISIS loyalists have risen to power in Libya, just across the Mediterranean from Italy. In the most recently released execution video, one of the militants says the group plans to, quote, conquer Rome. Egypt today carrying out airstrikes against ISIS targets in Libya.
And this comes as recently released poll numbers show Americans are unhappy with how President Obama is handling ISIS. According to the CNN survey, more than half of those polled disapprove of how the U.S. is dealing with the terror group. That number of people that disapprove is climbing. The poll also found 54% of the respondents don't like how the president is handling terrorism as a whole.
Well, of course, to the weather now. It's been a pretty much unbearably cold weekend.
And
Monday.
Just wait.
I know. Apparently, that's what they're telling us right now.
Doubly unbearable, or something like that.
Well, it's going to be cold, that's for sure. Yeah, and definitely a time to bundle up, but not too unbearable out here right now. It's not too bad, but our below average temperatures seem to be the norm these days. If we ever get above average again, it really will be cause for celebration. Look at the stats today. The official high 18, the low of 12. The averages are 33 and 20. So our high today not even reaching what our average low would be for the date. 56, 19, 21 for that record high, and 17 below, way back in 1885 for the record low. Right now, Mitchell International only off 1 degree from the high, 17. The dew point is 3, humidity 54%. West wind at only 9 miles per hour, so relatively light wind, barometers falling. For tonight, I think we'll see a low of about 14 in the city, down to 10 in some of the outlying areas. The clouds will still be with us overnight, and just a few flurries from time to time. A west to southwest wind at about 5 to 10. And we continue to see that colder air starting to move down, spilling in really out of Canada. That bright white color you see just north of Lake Superior and the U.S.-Canada border, that is some of that really cold air that's starting to seep south. In fact, look at the temperature trend here. We'll start here as of this hour. Watch the bright white area. Here comes that first plunge of really cold air centered right over us on Wednesday afternoon. More of the same on Thursday. As we get into Friday, we get a little bit of a moderation in temperature. And then on Sunday, we start to see Saturday night into Sunday, another little plunge of that colder air. Weather-wise, it's really pretty quiet. There have been a few snow showers in western Wisconsin, northwest Illinois. We could see a few flurries out of it. Here's where the mess is. On the East Coast, from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia, Baltimore, down to Norfolk, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina. They've had some snow there. Over 6 inches of snow in West Virginia and Virginia. And then you get down into North Carolina, and what a mess, because that's right in that boundary. They got freezing rain and sleet falling in North Carolina and South Carolina, even around the Atlanta area. Earlier today, close to a foot of snow falling in parts of Kentucky, and a lot of icing in the Nashville area, slipping and sliding. What a mess. Meanwhile, out west, it is relatively quiet. Still a few rain showers down around the Gulf Coast of Texas. We look at the upper air wind flow, and it is definitely kind of a squiggly pattern here, where instead of a zonal west to east flow, we have this flow. We call it a meridional flow. And when you get these types of patterns, they tend to stay stuck. Unfortunately, we are stuck in that cold side of things as the circumpolar vortex kind of every once in a while we'll send down these little shots of cold air. We'll start to feel that shot again tomorrow night, and there's a chance that we're going to hold on to more of that cold air even into next week, while that big ridge of high pressure out west keeps things mild. So as an antidote to all of that, we're just heading up to Door County. Why not? Hey, our feature photographer tonight is Joan from Wauwatosa. 2 photos for her. Here's the first one. How about these eagles? Is that great? In Egg Harbor, this was taken at the end of October of this last year. The eagles at Egg Harbor. What a nice sight to see. Joan had her camera ready just in time. Nice. And the second photo here, this is from the Francis Hardy Gallery, taken on December 16th up in Ephraim, Good stuff there, Joan. Joan, by the way, has had about 48 awards, I think she's now won in the Capture Door County contest, and she's got 5 photos in the 2015 Door County Visitors Guide. So good going there, Joan. We appreciate your work there and the photography. And as she says, she loves Door County, and a lot of us do. Good stuff. Let's check in with Sky Vision Plus. We got wind speed here in miles per hour as well. And for the overnight, southwest to west winds, generally under 10 miles an hour. There's tomorrow morning. Watch the change. The wind goes around to the northwest, and look at the numbers. The wind speeds start to increase. So by noon, a breezy day right into the afternoon. A couple of snow showers possible tomorrow night. The northwest winds continue, and they pick up in speed. There's Wednesday morning. Sub-zero on the wind chills. Tough morning, tough day throughout the day on Wednesday with those strong northwest winds and a few passing snow showers. Here is the wind chill forecast. We start at noon tomorrow. By noon tomorrow, already below zero. So look at this. As we get into 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, below zero. 24 hours from now will be below zero as well. And there's 6 o'clock on Wednesday morning. Wind chills as we step out early in that 10 to 15 below range, sometimes close to 20 below. And it just gets worse throughout the day on Wednesday. Look at that, midday Wednesday and right into Wednesday afternoon. Yeah. All right, well, for tomorrow, our high temperature will be up around 16. Cloudy skies. It'll become breezy by midday as that west to northwest wind picks up. For tomorrow night, we drop down to 0, windy and cold, a few light snow showers coming through. And here's your Fox 6-day planner. The roughest days weather-wise here, Wednesday and Thursday with the wind and the bitter cold. Sub-zero temperatures in the morning, sub-zero wind chills all day long. Chance for some light snow showers returning, I think especially by late in the day on Friday into Friday night and Saturday. Too soon to tell if we'll see much in the way of accumulation. Back inside.
All right, Vince. Well, as Vince was just mentioning, down south and really the southern eastern seaboard, it's kind of a messy mix of sleet, snow, and ice right now. Out east, though, what they're expecting to get, more snow.
Yeah, in fact, federal offices in D.C., they're going to be closed tomorrow because of a winter storm warning there. Paula Sandoval with the wave of winter.
Winter's reach is expanding beyond the still snow-covered Northeast. Meteorologists predict the new winter storm could stretch across the Midwest and Southeast. People in parts of Kentucky, Arkansas, and Missouri already being hit with freezing rain, snow, and ice. Dangerously cold temperatures adding to miserable conditions. North Carolina's governor declaring a state of emergency ahead of the storm.
Our goal, again, like last year, is to be over-prepared and hopefully underwhelmed by this storm.
The travel forecast also looks bleak. FlightAware.com reporting thousands of flight cancellations and delays from coast to coast. Travelers in Tennessee and North Carolina airports feeling the brunt of the travel trouble, and those on the roads are feeling it too.
I'm trying to get home. I just had a blowout on the freeway, but I was able to pull in here.
The wicked weather comes as Boston's brutal winter makes its way into record books. The city reached its snowiest month yet with nearly 5 feet this month alone, the most since record-keeping started in 1872.
I've been struck over the last couple of days how Bostonians have pulled together here in the neighborhoods. I've spent a lot of time driving around the different neighborhoods and seeing folks shoveling out their houses, shoveling out their neighbors, helping people.
With more snow on the way, the extreme winter weather just doesn't seem to quit. I'm Polo Sandoval reporting.
And check out this crazy scene in Pennsylvania. Ice now covering a building in Philadelphia. The building caught fire early this morning. The upper floors were reportedly empty and slated for renovation, but neighbors had to be evacuated. Now it looks like an ice castle.
Wow.
One witness has said it looked like the whole block was on fire.
Wow. Well, a mob scene at a movie theater. Hundreds of teens suddenly rush a mall near Orlando, and the chaos was all captured on cell phone video. Anthony DiLorenzo reports.
It was just blind mob mentality.
Just bum rush the entire theater.
A night at the movies turned into a mob scene.
Go disturb everybody else's Valentine's Day, I guess.
Hundreds of middle and high school aged kids showed up at the West Oaks Mall in Ocoee and for some reason tried to rush the theater.
About 200 actually got in before they were able to close the security gates.
Jessica and Brian Weckerly were watching 50 Shades of Grey when a real-life drama was playing out all around them.
There are a couple hundred kids just marching up through the theater, making just a lot of noise.
Eventually, police showed up and herded everyone outside into the parking lot. But that's when things got even more dangerous.
800 kids show up. They cause a ruckus. Some with guns, some firing guns in the air, robbing people. stolen cars, drugs.
4 law enforcement agencies showed up to quell the chaos, most likely organized on social media. 2 people were arrested when all was said and done. It was a night the Weckerleys won't soon forget.
I've never been involved in anything like that, and I hope it doesn't happen again to me.
I'm hoping they got home and got in trouble by their parents if their parents knew what they did. So I don't think I'll be going back.
And that was Anthony DiLorenzo with that story. Now, 2 kids were arrested, as he mentioned, one for battery and resisting arrest, the other on drug charges. Fortunately, though, in all that chaos, no one was hurt.
In California, volunteers have saved 4 sea lions. You'll see them here going back to the ocean after weeks of rehab, and they look pretty excited about it, don't they? These guys were found on an Orange County beach. Pictures show them severely underweight, some as much as 50 pounds. There you go right there. Researchers say they still have about 90 more sea lions in rehab. They say a shortage of fish in the area along the coast is causing the pups to go hungry. And a freezing rescue off the coast of Massachusetts. A father and son stranded about 140 miles offshore. They called for help around 5 Sunday morning when their boat lost power. The sails had torn. A Coast Guard arrived. You see them 4 hours later pulling them to safety, and they're going to be okay.
Police say by the time they arrived to a domestic violence situation, a Grafton man was already shooting. Well, that was last week. Today, 3 Ozaukee County Sheriff's deputies are being honored for their quick thinking during that dangerous situation. Our Jonathan Gregg with how they responded under fire.
A quiet neighborhood was the scene of a violent outburst on the evening of February 7th. Grafton police and sheriff deputies arrived to a home at the corner of Spring Street and North 11th. They say 31-year-old Joseph Damrow was inside, intoxicated and armed.
A gunfire began, and then without regard for their own safety, all 5 of these officers entered that residence to try to protect the victim.
Damrow shot a 32-year-old woman in the leg. Her life was saved thanks to the quick decisions made by officers.
We do a lot of active shooter training, and like I said, our training took over. None of us thought twice.
Mutual cooperation.
3 deputies are receiving the sheriff's gold coin for their actions. In addition, deputies Becky Swanson and Deputy Nicholas Deppes are receiving the department's life-saving award
For placing the tourniquet on the victim's leg, thus saving her life.
All 3 were honored Monday at the Ozaukee County Sheriff's Office.
It's hard for me to express exactly what it means to get something like that, but it's an honor.
They made entry while the suspect continued to fire.
The situation was tense and life-threatening to everyone involved.
We were just in the right spot at the right place that day. What happened is just what we've gone through in training and what we've been trained to do.
Training that took a suspect into custody and saved a woman's life.
I'm real happy that my family and friends could be here.
The Ozaukee County Sheriff's Department says the quick decision-making by its deputies and Grafton police prevented the loss of life. Damrow has been charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide, as well as 4 other charges. Reporting in Port Washington, Jonathan Gregg, Fox 6 News.